our nations in the West are starting to become very authoritarian, very controlling on anything you do, say or hear. So hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. While I'm sitting here waiting in my car, I've been thinking about the videos that I've been doing quite recently and how they've, I'll be honest with you, they've been making me a bit depressed. And the reason being is that whether you're talking about the Biden administration or the Boris administration and the likes of New Zealand, where they say if you haven't got a jab you can't have a job, that kind of thing, our nations in the West are starting to become very authoritarian, very controlling on anything you do, say or hear. So I'll give you an example. That the Biden administration, of course, want to stop you from putting things on social media they don't approve of. Fascism. Boris Johnson and Priti Patel want to stop journalists from embarrassing them somehow and changing the Secrets Act. Fascism. The likes of New Zealand say that if you don't have a jab then you can't have a job. You know, and this is going on and on and on. And it's starting to scare me, because if it was just one country, and even if it was a country like France and France alone, I don't think I'd be that bothered, because they've always been quite revolutionary, is the French. But when it comes to the likes of Britain and America, New Zealand, these are known to be very liberal countries. Liberal in understanding you're unable to control the masses. You shouldn't be in control as a government. You shouldn't be in control of journalism. You shouldn't be in control of the internet, what people hear, see, that kind of thing. But if you look at it sensibly of what's been happening, you got both the Biden and the Boris administration trying to control what you hear, what you're able to put on the internet, what you're able to see, what you're able to eat, what you're able to drink, whether or not you can go abroad, controlling so many different aspects of our life. Not only that, but they also want us to have electric cars within a few years, where people are not going to be able to afford to have electric cars in a few years. Who can have £40,000 coming out of their account? Who has got £40,000 in their account to pay for an electric car? But somehow it's supposed to be, you know, well, it's got to be done and that's it. The Boris government are trying to somehow stop us from having gas boilers indoors and turn them into, what, electric boilers, because gas boilers kick off too many gases, CO2 and all that sort of shit. So they're trying to bring that into law. Or they will be trying to bring that into law. I don't know how they're going to do it, but so, you know, every sort of aspect of your life and my life is slowly being more and more controlled, and somehow all the nations are putting up with it. Yes, we've been getting the demonstrations, absolutely, but the demonstrations don't seem to be doing anything, because the likes of the Boris government or the Biden administration or the New Zealand administration, look at Australia for instance. I mean, the way they're closing down the whole, what is it, Sydney now? They closed down Sydney because there's been 1 or 2 deaths in the whole of the city. Tell me where we need to be to go back to normal. I think that's a good question, actually. Where do we need to be to go back to normal? Because no matter how many demonstrations we put out there, no matter how many times you write to your politician, your MP and all that kind of stuff, nothing really happens. Boris Johnson's got an 80-seat majority, and that ain't going to change for at least another 3 to 4 years. We've got Keir Starmer as an opposition, but he's not really an opposition. Labour's not an opposition. The Lib Dems and all that kind of people, they're not an opposition. The SNP are just a joke in a way. They're just complete nationalists. Everything's Scotland and everything's Scotland within, which I think they're going more towards the fascist side of politics, to be fair. But it is scaring me. It really is scaring me. And it's scaring me for my daughter's sake, because it won't get that authoritarian very quickly. It's like a tippy toe fascism and authoritarian. I can't pronounce it. Authoritarianism. It's a tippy toe thing. So by the time I'm dead, and my daughter starts bringing up her own children, is when this evil, vile, I would suggest communism way of thinking and doing things is going to be in its prime. I would like to think that the likes of Britain and America will somehow come out of this. Somehow it will all change very quickly when people start opening their eyes and realising exactly what's happening. But I've got to be honest with you, I'm scared. I am really scared. You tell me the way you think it's going on. Do you think I'm over exaggerating? Or do you think I've got a point?
Around 2 million Chinese agents are embedded all over the world in governments, corporates and embassies. 2 million agents. This is the biggest and first of its kind data leak from China, and it shows how vulnerable, even compromised world powers are.